If you got a good voice and you want to make at least $1,000 a week part-time from home in voiceover, this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make money every single day. And it's not rocket science. I've made almost $250,000 on the platform Fiverr, and I just joined Voices 123, and I'm going to show you a day in the life. So let's hop into it here. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I go to my projects. I've got this new order here from Sebastian Skezlar, and it pays $350. And scroll down here and take a look at the script. Pop it open, and literally this one is just asking questions. So now I'm going to cover my face a little bit here, and we'll just go through these one by one, and I'll just show you what I'm doing. Okay, so pull up Adobe Premiere. I've got it all set and armed to record my vocals. So all I have to do is press this button right here. Now I'm recording. You can see I've moved this up a little bit so I sound a little bit more present. Got to make sure you have a pop filter so you don't have the sound. That's not good. Check 1, 2. Levels sound good. Okay, so I recorded at least this first page, and I sent that to them as a test, but just to show you, like, this is how easy it gets. How do you check the runway and wind before landing? Voice crack. So what? How do you check the runway and wind before landing? How do you check the runway and wind before landing? Before landing. How do you check the runway and wind before landing? There, I got it finally. And then now what I would do is read a whole bunch of these, knock them all out. Maybe I should do that, but here. So come back over here to Premiere. This button right here. Now I'm recording. Gets, how do you check the runway and wind before landing? Voice crack. So what? How do you check the runway and wind before landing? How do you check the runway and wind before landing? Before landing. How do you check the runway and wind before landing? There, I got it finally. Okay, so for this particular project, there is no editing. I'm editing this. I just showed you how quickly I can edit this. You know, so there's the, how do you check the runway and wind before landing? You know, if you had to edit. But this is what I would do for this project, which pays $350. Just do this. What safety habit do you have? Why is this habit important? What are your next goals in flying? Do you want more ratings or training? How do you keep learning as a pilot? How do you practice radio English? What do you want to improve now? How will you practice it? And literally just go through the script like this. It's so simple. It's not going to take that long. Just roll through these questions. No editing on my part. I charge for editing. If they wanted me to edit it and get rid of all my mistakes and my mess ups and whatever, then I would do it for a price. But this is just for words, just for recording right there. That's $350. All right. That's just to give you like one example. And so over here on Voices 123, come over here to projects, and it doesn't show any because I just did them all. The projects come in, and then I just come over here to Adobe Premiere, and I just press record, and I just record myself. Hey, it's Jonathan in St. Louis, Missouri. How we doing? Okay, we got a sample for you. And then just talk to him like a normal person. I'll just be like, all right, so let's take a look at like this. This was the default 15-minute spot. So I'll ask him questions about the script. I'll be like, okay, so do you want me to sound more like this, or do you want me to be super excited? I'm just going to use my best judgment right now, and I'll just read a sample through a couple of times and come up with this.
Enrico Colantoni and Terry Hatcher star in a wickedly dark new comedy directed by Jason Alexander. Fault makes its stage debut at Chicago Shakespeare Theater, April 18th through May 24th. Tickets at chicagoshakes.com.
That paid $150. Okay, that's pretty. That's showing you, like, you know, you can come home from your part-time job or your full-time job, heck, and then do that and make an extra $150 on the day. That can take care of your gas for the week, in just one day, one project. I mean, you can get as many projects as you want going. So I made this Miro board to kind of help you understand like a step-by-step of like what we're doing here. So first, when you're in this headspace of you got to work, for a boss, it's really difficult to understand like owning your own business and to be able to do it from home and not have to, set up an LLC and all the kind of headaches that you associate with having your own business. So first you got to get your mind right. All right. Understand this, that 1 out of 3 people right now are part of what's called the gig economy. All right. That's 68 million people are working from home. And this is definitely becoming a trend as you see $585 billion in the gig economy right now, projected to be over $2 trillion by 2034. AI, definitely, we know it's coming for your job. And what's good for the company was the tagline for so many years. But now, how about what's good for you? So you got to discover your voice. Have people ever asked you, do you do voiceover? Do they say you have a pleasant voice? Do you have it really doesn't matter what type of voice you have. If you've got something that's interesting, or you sound clear, or you got a nice bass or baritone or whatever it is, if you have any kind of unique voice, and we all do, you can turn it into cash. So do you have a good voice? The better question is, will someone actually pay you for your voice? And I'm here to tell you that they will. It doesn't matter what you think of it. Somebody in this world needs your voice for something. All right. So just make sure that you're understandable, that the message is communicated clearly, that you're pliable, that you can work with the script, and that you can bend your voice high, low, fast, slow, and unimpeded, that you don't have like a physical condition where you can't talk. Obviously. So it's kind of a low bar here, but just make sure that you're understandable, that you're pliable, and that you're unimpeded. And then for having a great voice, you don't necessarily need these things, but if you've got dialect diversity, if you can sound like you're from a different place in the world, if you got emotional response, if you can actually have some feeling, so if you've got any theater background or anything like that, that's definitely going to help. Dramatic swings and creative interpretation, be able to take a script and make it your own and change things around in it, tone-wise, speed-wise, to basically take something that's just flat on a piece of paper and give it some life. And so ways to continually improve your voice: you could take voice lessons, you could do those online or with a person, absolutely warm-ups like yawn size. Join a choir or a band. It's just going to keep your voice in practice and help you emote better. Join a play or a musical, or even start a podcast or a YouTube channel like I have. All of this is great, right? You got a great voice, but now you got to build a studio. In my mind, that was like totally out of the question. I'm living in a $445 a month crappy apartment, and it's just like, how do you build a studio? Well, you can start here. First, you need to get yourself a mic. So get yourself a cheapie like this. This is a Blue Yeti. You can get one of these for like $200, I think. Maybe even less now. As soon as you can, upgrade to a condenser mic. This is the Neumann TLM 103. Just make sure you don't get ripped off if you're doing it through eBay. If you get one brand new, they're going to cost like, I think, at least $1,200. I got mine for like $750, but I just found this one on eBay. You might be able to get that. You can get yourself a Zoom. This is just a little recording device, and it's fairly inexpensive. A little SD card like this, and then get yourself a mic cable, an XLR cable. You can see it right here, and a pop filter. You can buy one cheap, or you can do it yourself and get a pantyhose. You can buy a lot of this stuff at Guitar Center, eBay, or Sweetwater. It just depends. If you want to get it brand new, and you want it today, go to Guitar Center. You want to get a little cheaper, get it on eBay. But again, you got to make sure that you're dealing with, people on the up and up. And then Sweetwater, you can get brand new too. So you need some stuff like Auralex, not just to look cool for your intro video, although it does help. You want to look like a professional. This is all about fake it till you make it. So get yourself some Auralex, at least like one sheet. It's going to be like $150 a sheet, I think. But in the end, just get a whole bunch of blankets for cheap for $16, $17. You can get these moving blankets. And this is sound dampening. So you'll put this on your walls or ceiling or whatever so you don't have your voice bouncing around in the room. So you don't sound like you're in a hollow bathroom or a cathedral or something. See how quiet it is? There's like no echoey, nothing. Okay, get yourself a mic stand. You can get one of these fancy, Howard Stern mic stands if you want to, right? Then you can move it around, and it's pliable and fun and a little bit more expensive, but hey, if you're gonna make a lot of money doing this, it's like, who cares? All right, get yourself some video editing software. That's what this is right here. This is Adobe Premiere, and it goes for $22.99. You can get Audition, which is just for audio, but I would go with the video because you're going to need to make a video promo for yourself anyway. And if you get really good at doing voiceover, eventually you can expand other things like spokesperson work, which I do as well. And that pays really good too. I'll probably edit this up a little bit, but I'm just trying to give you a better feel for like the real deal. Like, this is what I would tell anybody who I'm helping. And literally you can take everything that I'm telling you right now and just copy me. Just do what I'm telling you to do. If you got a good voice, and you can start making money this year. Make 2026 the year that you're going to put this together. Don't wait. Don't drag your feet. Don't make excuses. It's super easy to do that. But I'm telling you, if you put the work in right now, your 2027 is going to be amazing. And you're just going to have lots of extra money, lots of extra time, because that's what this is all about. It's about freeing up your time so that you can work for yourself from home. You might even end up doing this completely full-time. So dream big. All right, get yourself some headphones like these. Just make sure that it like cups your ear, but they're a little pricier, but you just don't want earbuds, anything where your sound will come back into the microphone and then do the little circular deal. And probably the most important thing is to make sure that you have a quiet room. So if you're in the Midwest, you might have a basement, go to the basement. If you're in an urban environment, it is going to be more difficult. You got to find a quiet room. You got to get away from air conditioners and heaters and outside noise and everything like that. But don't count yourself out, because I used to travel and stay in hotels, and I mean sometimes I'd even stay. I'd have to figure out like where the heater is in the hotel so that I wouldn't be staying next to that. But you can make it happen. I made it happen with couches and beds, and I'd flip over the bed and I'd put my Auralex inside the mini fridge and put my mic inside that, and then lay down on the floor and stick my head in there and read the script from my phone. Honestly, like anything to be able to have the freedom to travel and move and just enjoy life. But you got to make sure you have a quiet room. No traffic noise, heater, air conditioner, electricity, lights, refrigerator, freezer, no hums. Sometimes electricity makes sound, and you'll notice everything like through your headphones. And so, again, it doesn't have to be quote unquote perfect. I've been to recording studios where they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to have like no sound whatsoever, and they've got big thick doors and tempered glass and all this craziness, and it's like, yeah, okay, you do need that maybe if you're working for NBC or something, possibly. But I'm telling you, if you just want to make a good living from home, keep it simple, you don't have to have a $12,000 booth in order to make it happen. You can do it just like this. All right, so after you got your awesome studio in your house or wherever you're at, you're going to create a portfolio. So just do like 6 different genres of voice, NBC must-see TV. Movie trailer in theaters now. Monster Jam. Come out Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Thomas Jefferson walked down the street and told George Washington, "I will see you tonight."
Little character voices.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off your mobile phones. Just give everybody kind of a taste of every flavor of your voice, everything that you can do, try to do. And if you don't have that much diversity, it's fine. You can be the person who's really good at talking monotone. or the person that talks really, really fast, or whatever it is, because it's all in how you package yourself and how you sell yourself to the clients. And somebody's looking for your voice. I can promise you that. All right. So less than 7 seconds for each of those, if you do have some diversity, and then you're going to put them together into a reel. This is your demo reel. So you want to make sure that if you're recording with the Zoom that you're not peeking out. Okay. Nothing up here. Also make yourself a little SoundCloud. So do a couple of samples, record them, edit them over here in Premiere, or, cheat code. If you just want to get this started real quick, you can hire someone like me, an editor, off of Fiverr or any number of sites, or go on YouTube or Instagram and just look up editors. There's just tons and tons of people, and there's a lot of people starting out there who've got talent, but they don't have much work, and you can give them that work. So you can hire somebody to do it for you. But in the meantime, I would learn how to do it. Go on YouTube, learn how to use Premiere. It's not rocket science. You can figure it out. So create a SoundCloud link, choose a theme, and read several examples back to back. Like with that, I would I just read a couple of samples from like a couple of different books. Doesn't matter what genres. Don't overthink it. I overthought this so much. I mean, I met with people who worked in studios. I met with a radio announcer. I met with all these people, because I just wanted to be like perfect and have like the perfect, because you do have imposter syndrome when you're starting. You're like, I don't know anything about this. I have a good voice, or so I've been told. And so where do I even begin? And so what is it? Paralysis by analysis. It's just like, don't paralyze yourself. Just take action. And this video right here, this can help you completely, 100% can help you get off to a great start. Okay, that's just showing you hey, look at it, I've made a lot of money. Woohoo. There's all kinds of places that you can start. I started on Fiverr. I think Fiverr is awesome because you don't need any money. There's no startup. So once you got your mic and you got your studio, and like I said, you can start on the cheapy cheap, get a $200 mic, get yourself a $200-something one of these, and an SD card, and a mic cable and stand, and maybe some moving blankets, and just get started. And you can get started and just start getting some work and just build up. And then you can join other platforms like Upwork and TopTool and Freelancer. And like I said, I just joined Voices 123 not that long ago, just to continue expanding my umbrella of people. Okay. To work with. Clients. What's their name? All right, so you got to create a video demo reel. This is for Fiverr. So you can see I've got the cool Auralex in the background. It makes me look legit. I got an awesome legit mic. My first video, I didn't have this mic. I had the Blue Yeti. So you fake it till you make it. But as soon as you want to get this awesome looking mic that makes you look like, wow, I'm a professional. I am in a $445 a month studio apartment in Stafford, Texas, right here, Meadows Place. I mean, come on. It was crap. There was rats and ants crawling around. It was a nightmare. There's a bathroom right here and my studio over here. So it's so crazy to think. If I didn't figure it out and do it this way, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So you got to start somewhere. You can either use your phone, or you can get a little camera. Here's a cheapy option for you. Get a little Sony. It's good quality. A lot of streamers use this one. See, my voice cracks all the time. So annoying, but that's what editing is for. Get yourself a little stand. You can get these on Amazon or eBay probably. And a little teleprompter if you're not good at least for the video. If you're not good at memorization or something, you can buy a little teleprompter and you put your camera right behind it, so you're just looking at the words coming on your phone. You get a little teleprompter app, and you just put in your little script. And your script would go something like this. Hi, I'm Jonathan, with an exclusive offer to Fiverr.com. If you're looking for without your voice cracking, if you're looking for a deep bass male voice for your next script, you're in the right spot. I will record up to 75 words starting at only $5. I look forward to working with you. Now have a listen to some of my work. Always be smiling with your eyes, smiling with your face. It feels awkward and strange and psychotic, but it's not. And when you watch the video, everybody's just like, oh, wow, this person's really good. And you're just like, yeah, I am. All right. So do that, and then guess what? After that little 15-second intro, now your demo's going to play, and it's just going to do 6 different parts of, genres of your voice. And so that's going to be your little demo reel, your little business card that basically you're going to be able to plop onto sites like Fiverr and others, and maybe even your own website. So there's so many avenues that you can go, but let's just start with Fiverr. So we're going to make a profile that shows your professionalism. So the most important part about this is getting a gig title with the keywords. So if you need help figuring out your keywords, it's just basically how can you set yourself apart from everybody else. Be descriptive, but don't be, too overly wordy. So I just chose deep and epic. So when people hear deep and epic, they think like Transformers or something like that. And so obviously I can do a lot of different genre of voice, but I'm just trying to highlight maybe like what my best quality is. And it seems to work. So make sure that you fill in all available offerings. There's all kinds of stuff on Fiverr that you need to. Let's just go on Fiverr. All right, so you can see, like, this is my profile. So there's my little video.
Hi, I'm Jonathan with an exclusive offer to Fiverr.com.
And it's going to go, well, maybe I should play a few seconds.
If you're looking for a deep bass male voice for your next script, you're in the right spot. I look forward to working with you. Now have a listen to some of my work.
Now, I had to cut out the price because I had changed my price. I used to charge $5 for 75 words, and then I upped it to 25. And so when I upped my price to 25 and the video still said 5, there was a obvious discrepancy there. And so that hurt me. So you got to make sure everything lines up. What you're saying in your video, what you're saying in your profile. So make sure nothing contradicts.
It all starts with a space, an idea, and a vision.
Go camping! But first, go to Capital RV for the overstocked used RV blowout. Hey everyone, he's back! Television's most loved show program, the Lonnie Hill Country Gospel Music Show.
Hello. Thank you for calling Macho Plumbing. Chances are you caught us with one of our clients.
Hey, all you Harley-Davidson riders out there, we challenge you. Nope, we double dog dare you to bring your butts on.
Live streaming and recording services in Greece. Visit our website.
I love that. That's why I didn't want to change anything. So when I changed my prices, I didn't want to, and I'll tell you more about why I changed my prices and when I changed my prices. But that is an example of what you can do with your demo. And then I have some editing, expertise. I was a videographer as well. So I was able to put that cool, background and put the little floating ball in. And again, if you don't know how to do that right off the bat, not a big deal. You can hire somebody to do that for you. You can hire me. Or somebody online, whatever. All right, so here's my projects. So we got the $25 one, and then a $100 one, and then I got my spokesperson videos. And what's so cool is this is your business. You can charge whatever you want. So, and they made me do an hourly one as well. Well, they didn't make me, but they asked, like, what do you charge per hour? I don't really like to do hourly. I don't want to work an hour at anything, to be honest with you. So I want a project, I want to charge for it, and I want to get paid for it. But, I guess if somebody said to me like, hey, I want to work with you for 5 hours and, I'll pay you $1,000, I might say, okay, I'll block that day out for you. Make some portfolio examples. So as you start to work for other people, it's so cool because you can ask like, hey, can I see like what is the final product of whatever you did with my voice? Sometimes I'll just send them, me just reading the same line over and over and over and just do it 10 different times. And then they send me back. I don't know why that stopped.
Len Vino is inspired by legend, tradition, and innovation.
I love it. Like when I see the final product, I've done some crazy stuff like the tour in the Twin Towers in Dubai, or I think it was Dubai. UAE. And then like the intro for all these gamers that like walk out into a big stadium, and it's just like,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Ninjas in pajamas.
and they like send me the video, and I'm able to like hear my voice in the amphitheater, you know, as people are walking out and things exploding. It's just like, how cool is that? And then so yeah, and then so the name of the game is getting reviews. And so let's jump back into our little spiel here. So anyway, this is super important though. Make sure that you can get a gig title, and so try them out, you know, let one go for a couple days, couple weeks, whatever. If you don't feel like you're getting any traction, then change it up, but use words like speak or exclaim, or, you know, just come up with don't say like I will do, you know, just use some descriptive language. And just try to keep it simple but descriptive. And you can go to different websites to find keywords too. I think keywords.io. Okay, so you're gonna highlight your skills. If you got any other skills beside voice, but they could be related, that you're, I don't know, you're an actor, or you've done stage and theater, just any kind of skills that you think could relate to having, you know, a good voice. FAQs, again, I didn't know what to use for FAQs, you know, frequently asked questions. So I would literally just go over to Fiverr and go over to switch to buying, and then come over here and take a look at find male voiceover, and come over here to one of these top rated guys, and then just take a look and see what do they ask for questions. So here's their FAQs. What kind of microphone do you use? You know, and then I use a Neumann TLM 103. Do you record in a studio? Yes, I have a dry studio booth in my home. Me too. Absolutely. Do you edit all your voiceovers? That I don't do anymore. I do it for a price. But here's a little game for you. I don't know, game, sauce, whatever. So in the beginning, obviously, you want to get as much work as possible. And so you want everything to be like super perfect, and you want to get a lot of great reviews and everything. So I would edit everything. But once I started getting slammed, I was just like, why am I spending my time and wheels, spending my time and spinning my wheels, editing all these voiceovers, when a lot of times these people have editors themselves. And so I started charging for it to save myself time and to make more money. And for the most part, a lot of these people were editing their own stuff anyway, and they didn't care. So, you know, if you like doing it, or if you want to hire somebody to do it, edit your voiceovers. In the beginning, I would suggest probably giving them a professional recording, all the mistakes taken out, all the breaths taken out, just so you can get the ball rolling. When you start making great money, and then I would consider, you know, charging. But maybe in the beginning, just charge for your editing, or don't charge for your editing. Do it for free for them. So you're going to have to create some examples. In the beginning, you haven't done any work, and so you're going to have to create something. So you could go listen to the radio, listen to a Kickstarter video, listen to anything on Instagram, like a little ad, and then basically write down or record what they said, and then just do it word for word, obviously in your own voice, and then add music in the background so it sounds like you've worked for somebody. And you can use those as your examples. Make sure you add any certifications that you have, if there's anything that pertains to voice, or not. Any kind of certification. You've been certified for any number of different jobs. It may not pertain to voice, but that doesn't matter. Somebody might like the fact that you've got your plumbing certification, and that when they go and look for a voiceover, they're just like, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He can talk, you know, with some authority when he's doing it. All right, filters. We'll talk about this a little bit. You want to make sure that you don't filter yourself out from getting the more expensive gigs, because a lot of people will filter out the $5 gigs. You want the $5, but you also want a $5 gig, or the $100 gig. You're going to set up your pricing, packages, the extras, very key, very important. We'll go over that in a little bit. your payment method, and connect with your bank or PayPal. All right, so for visibility's sake, again, this goes back to having a great gig title. Don't make it too generic like this. I will record anything for your project that's like, blah, who are you? You got to show some personality. I will speak with a deep, epic voice. You're going to get like 10 times the responses from something like that. And then you got to have pricing that reaches all your buyers. So I showed you before, I've got 3 different gigs. So I've got the one here for $25, but like I said, I would start with $5 because you want to, in the beginning, it's all about getting reviews, getting the algorithm, getting the staff at Fiverr to notice you. So you need to start getting work as fast as possible. And how do you do that? You stay pretty cheap so that you'll work for anybody. In fact, almost work for free. If there's people sometimes post stuff and they don't even want to pay for it. In the beginning, you have to be hungry for this. You have to just be like, in the beginning, I'm not trying to make money mentally. I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to establish myself. I want to be on the top page of Fiverr. And so in order to do that, I need to be willing to work all day, every day, even though you're not gonna, but you have to have that mentality. So that's also part about getting your mind right here. So start with a $5 gig for sure, but then also create a $100 gig, because there are going to be people that will filter out all the cheapies and they just start with 100. So that's all they're going to see. And you want them to see you too. So sometimes you will get paid $100 to read 15 words in the same way that you would be paid $5 to read 15 words. And when you get that first $100 gig, you're going to feel, at least I did, you're going to feel like that's gold. Like I remember I did it was like a calling card for somebody. It was just their little tagline. And they actually wanted to talk me through it. And I was totally fine with that. I was just like, let's take the evening. Because for me, $100, I mean, that's like gas for 2 weeks. So that was pretty exciting. And it will be exciting for you too. You got to do this, I'm telling you guys. All right, so create a $100 gig and then a $5 gig. I upped it to 25. This is why I upped it to 25. Number one, obviously you want to make more money and you don't want to spend as much time with the cheaper gigs, because when you're dealing with cheaper gigs, you're dealing with cheaper people generally, not as big of projects, and they ask for the moon. It's just like CC's Pizza, who's the clientele there versus, going to Capital Grille. So I upped the price though, because I found out that you cannot become a top seller unless your average price is higher. So you might do all these $100 gigs and $25 gigs, and then you get one $5 gig. Well, that brings your average way down. So you'll never be considered for a top seller if your average is too low. So you gotta up your game. So as soon as you can, as soon as you're busy with the $5 gig, start to up it. 10, 20, 25. You don't want to price yourself out completely from cheaper gigs, but you definitely need to at some point raise your price, but not in the beginning. So about this gig, pretty simple setup. I just say copy here. Copy. You can copy me. You can copy all kinds of people on there, just so you get an idea of what the structure is. Obviously, you want to change things for your word count and your dollar amount and all that kind of stuff. I tell them I'm a video editor, so I can sync it no problem. I was a vocal coach and a stage actor, so I know how to inflect and emote. Anything you can. This is your little sell yourself. And keep it short. Keep it pertinent information. Add some demos. That SoundCloud we made. Maybe a couple videos. I posted these on Vimeo. And again, what do you offer? Like, again, in the beginning, I didn't know what I offered. I'm just like, I got a voice. I guess I could do movie trailers. It's just like, I don't know. Again, copy paste. Go to somebody's profile. And there are so many more things than just these. But at least this gives them like oh my gosh, it looks like he can do a whole bunch of things. I want to hire him. And then you're going to have packages. So a lot of people will just click on this just because they know they got a longer script and they don't care about the money. So they'll just like keep it simple and just like click $225 and it gets me almost everything. Or, And you can make these prices whatever you want. That's what's cool. You know, you can make this $1,000 and you can make this $2,250 if you wanted to. And you never know, somebody could click on it and make it happen for you. And then your extras. This is where you can take a $5 gig and turn it into a $500 gig, because people will pay for commercial rights or broadcast rights. And I've seen people charge $100 or $500 for broadcast rights. I'm just not in the idea of gouging anybody. I'm just like, I'd rather have your business and have it over and over and over, but you do you, boo. All right, so splitting files, I do charge for that, because you noticed on that other script where we had like, you know, a million questions. Imagine if they wanted a different file for each one of those. So I'd have to edit and export each file, and then I'd have to upload all of those files, hundreds of files. So obviously, I don't want to do that. And so if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get paid to do it. They will pay me. If they want me to edit it up, sync it to a video, I charge for that per minute. You can rack up quite an order here. And if they want it faster, again, if they want something that's like extremely difficult, like a lot of these extras, and they want it within 12 hours, you know, I might have to contact them and be like, listen, this ain't going to happen in 12 hours. I got other work to do and family matters and whatever. So I'm not going to be able to do it today. They'll totally understand. A lot of times they'll just pay you for it anyway. But yeah, you can charge like I am for 12, a 6, a 3-hour delivery. I worked at a church, and so I had a lot of flexibility. So I said 3-hour delivery. I could go on my lunch break. You know, I could just pop in back home, record a $5 voiceover, get paid an extra $40, you know, to have it to them within 3 hours. And it's just anything that you can do to start making hundreds and thousands of dollars a month. All right, make sure that you can get repeat clients. 5-star reviews are the key. So you got to sometimes ask for it. So everybody will be given an opportunity to give you a review when you get done with an order. But don't worry about it. Don't just ask them, you know, did I accomplish the task? Do you love it? Blah, blah, blah. And then just say, it would really help me out if you give me a 5-star review, because that helps the algorithm. That helps Fiverr know that I'm working hard, and other people who might be looking at my profile. And most times they're not going to have any issues with that. Lots of different ways to grow. Obviously, right in the beginning, you want to set up the notifications on your phone app. The key is getting to these gigs as fast as possible, or at least getting back to the people. So when they contact you, you know, if you've got a notification on your phone that pops up, you know, within 30 seconds to a minute, you know, to be able to contact them right away and just tell them, hey, just got your inquiry. I'm out and about right now. I'll check it out as soon as I get home or to the studio or whatever. Basically, great communication, which I also talk about here. Great communication. Make sure you're communicating with them. Be a normal person. Be a normal person. Be yourself. That's what's nice about this too. This is not the corporate work environment. Yes, are these people professionals? Some, and a lot. But for the most part, they know you're a freelancer and you're working from home. You're the king of your castle. And for all they know, you're making $1 million a year and you work for, you know, Paramount. So they don't know. So fake it till you make it. And then you could add different gigs, like I said, not just do the voiceover, but I do spokesperson work, and you can make great money doing that. Fiverr Plus, they have a Seller Plus program. You have to actually pay for that. I did it once for a couple of months. I didn't notice any difference, and it didn't seem to help me. So I stopped doing it. But you know, if you're struggling, then definitely I would join that. I think it's fairly reasonably priced, especially if you're making some money on the site. I wouldn't pay them until you're actually making money on the site. Add these different platforms, you know, to scale. Add Voices 1, 2, 3 like I just did. Voices.com, Backstage, Air Gigs, Upwork. You can scale this thing up until you got total freedom. And that's what this is all about. Being able to travel, being able to be your own boss, being able to make enough extra money so that you don't have to worry about your bills. Maybe you keep your full-time income and this is just your side hustle and you just make extra money with it, which takes care of all of your expenses and whatnot. If I can help you in any way, let me know. I left my link in the Calendly right below this video. And yeah, I hope you'll use this video, go through it again if you need to. And there's lots of videos on my channel that will explore all of these segments a little bit more in depth, but I wanted to give you an overview, and I wanted to show you like just how literally easy it is, you know, for someone to click on your profile and just pay you money and just make a quick $100 in a few minutes. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but sometimes, guys, it's like $50, $100 for literally like 2 lines. Just reading 2 lines and then you're done. So if you got a good voice, go for it. Don't waste any more time. And if you need help, contact me. All right, take care, and I will see you in the next video.